Hi, this is Willow Cross. I'm sorry that I'm a week late with this vlog, but the weather's been crappy and I wanted to do something special for you guys. Tonight we're going to have a bonfire, roast weenies and marshmallows, and tell ghost stories. And I thought you might like to come along with us. So here in a few minutes, the camera will be focused on the bonfire. You shouldn't see really any faces or anything because the kids don't want to be on cam, and that's totally fine with me. So, shut your lights off, light a little candle, and come talk ghosts with the Cross family.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, it's recording. It's recording. Alright, who wants to start?
You.
Me?
Yeah, Willow.
Why do I have to start?
Hey. You're the one who tells the best one.
Do you want to sit down? Where do you want to, what story do you want me to tell?
Tell one from one of the old houses.
A ghost one.
You want one?
A ghost one.
A ghost one.
Tell about the one about the little girl.
I'm still right here.
The little girl who was crying?
And woke you up.
Oh, okay. Well, that night, all you kids were asleep. We lived in a great big old farmhouse back then. That was a long time ago. And it was 2 stories. And all the kids had gone to sleep downstairs in the living room. And we were laying in bed, sound asleep, and both me and my husband shot straight up in bed, and we could hear somebody crying. The weird thing is he heard his daughter, and I heard her. And neither of them cried the same. I mean, they were both little, but they didn't have the same sound of their cry. So we both jumped up and went running downstairs to check on them because that's where everybody had gone to sleep, and everybody was still sleeping, sound asleep, and we couldn't hear the crying anymore. So, we got a drink and went to the bathroom, whatever, and went back upstairs, and as I got to the top of the stairs, I realized that I could hear the crying again, but it wasn't coming from downstairs. It sounded like it was coming from our bedroom. So, and he was right behind me. And I'm like, "Do you hear that?" And he's like, "What is that?" And I walked into the bedroom and just listened, and it sounded like it was coming from my closet. So I went up, trying to be real quiet, put my hand on the doorknob, turned it to open, and the second that door cracked open, there was no crying anymore. And up to that point, he never believed me that there were ghosts in that house. He really thought I was full of crap. But he heard that. So he knew it was there, and he tried to blame it on all kinds of stuff, but he knew it was there. And to this day, he'll still say, "Well, now, we're not real sure what that was, but we knew it was a ghost." It had to have been.
Yeah.
Everybody else was sound asleep. Okay, why don't you guys tell a ghost story?
No, do the one about the boxes.
The boxes?
And the house before that house.
The house before that. Well, let's talk about this, because just so you guys know, 3 of my kids are here, and one of my grandkids, and a whole bunch of their friends. There's like 4 other kids here. Let me ask you guys, because I hear this a lot. Everybody says, well, not everybody, but lots of people say, "Oh, I can't believe every house you've ever lived in is haunted." Was every house we lived in haunted?
No.
Okay.
Some of the old ones you chose to live in were.
Yes. The really old ones that we lived in, and we lived in several, were haunted.
This one?
This one
This house is not haunted.
No, but there are spirits
But
here
this-
now because it's almost time for All Hallows Eve, and
Yeah.
it's a thin line right now between the two.
We get the occasional visitor, because I think after living in so many places that were really haunted, that now we're just haunted.
Well, for the blog, why don't you ask Jacob about the little boy he's been seeing here lately?
Oh. No, because, you know, he's too little, and
Well, he was talking to me about him earlier.
he was talking about the little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
For them, because they might be interested in hearing this. Do you remember seeing ghosts when you were little in the big house, in the farmhouse?
I know.
I've never seen any, but one thing happened to me in the old farmhouse. I didn't tell you about it because I was scared, like, out of my mind. Like, whenever you told me to go get you tea, and I went in there and poured you a glass of tea, and I never came out with the tea, and you got mad about it, it's because I went in there, and, like, you know how I closed the door after me and everything? Like, the fans weren't going because it was kind of chilly that day, and, I get in the house, and I pour you the tea, and I turn around, and, like, the door that was over here to the breezeway, that one, the door right here, the one to the
stairs?
You're talking about that little section that had two doors that were weird that shouldn't have been there?
No, like, in the kitchen. There were
Okay.
two doors, like the one next to the stairway.
There was one in the dining room, and then one went to the stairwell.
Yeah, the one to the bathroom, the one to the breezeway, those two, and all those slammed.
All at the same time?
Yeah. And I just, like, curled up for a minute and started praying, and then I ran out. Like, I ran up to one of the doors, and then, like, the rest of them were locked except the one to the stairs, and I ran out, and I ran outside, and then you were like, it's like, I forgot.
There's ghosts in there. Do you guys remember when, I can't use his name because I don't want to offend our cousins, but do you remember our cousins that had the little blonde boy? And the day that he was, what, 3 years old?
Yeah, when he was sitting on the couch.
And started screaming.
Because the girl had walked through
the wall.
Yeah.
And it scared him. And that creeped me out. Not because she was there, because I already knew that she was there, but just
that somebody else had, and we hadn't even talked about it.
No, because she got all freaked out about that. His mom got all freaked out about it, so we didn't talk about that in front of them. That was kind of a creepy thing. Do you remember the picture?
Oh, with what's her name?
The little girl.
No, I remember the picture though where you were doing. We can't use her name anyway, but was sitting in the bathtub, and there was that old man and that old woman. You could see clearly what they were dressed in. It was in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, she wasn't sitting in the bathtub. She was standing in the bathroom.
Was she standing in the bathroom? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she was sitting on the tub.
No, she was just standing there, and they were one on each side of her. I was talking about. Do you remember the picture of the little blonde girl that I found in the attic?
Oh, yeah, the old picture. You hung it up in my room for a little bit, and it freaked me out.
The same girl I heard running up and down the stairs when I come home over on the weekend. I heard her coming up and down the stairs and giggling, and I kept thinking of the kids that kept yelling, shh, because I was trying to sleep. Sure enough, you walk around out of the living room through the sliding living room doors, walk around, and you saw her running upstairs giggling. And that was all. She was just crazy. But she was in like little old timey clothes that had blonde hair. And that's not the first time it happened. Remember, you thought one of us was up running around. You were going to
Yeah, that's when I thought.
Around downstairs, you could hear it.
I thought it was Rainy. I thought she was tapping me on the shoulder, and I rolled over, and I'm like, what's wrong?
You have a hat.
And she just stood there for a second, and then disappeared. That really freaked me out. It really did.
Take your hat off.
Okay, somebody else tell a story, because they're used to my stories. They have both my books. You guys tell me a story.
Well,
all right, you tell one.
When I was younger, my first ghost sighting was when I was living in Michigan.
Speak up. I can't.
You're gonna talk louder, because I can't even hear you.
Alright, my first ghost sighting was when I was living in Michigan. I was about 6, and I was told to go and take a nap because I got in trouble. And when I started walking towards my room, I saw a figure about maybe 4 feet tall, maybe 4.5 feet tall, and it was just peeking around the corner and looking at me. And I went back and screamed. I started screaming, ran back into the living room and told my grandpa, my biological grandpa, he actually ended up committing suicide, and I ended up seeing him too.
Oh, wow.
Like, he committed suicide, and he popped a bunch of pills, all of his pills, and downed a half-gallon of whiskey. And he just, when we found him the next day, he looked like he was praying, because he was on his knees, and like this, right next to his bed. And then about a week later, I saw him walking down the road, and we lived maybe on the other side of town from him. And that's how he would come and see us, is he had a vehicle, he'd come walk and see us. And I saw him walking down the road, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, Grandpa's outside. And she started crying. She was like, no, Grandpa's dead. And I was like, she'll even tell you, I was serious. I was like, no, Grandpa's outside walking. He's walking. He just waved at me. And she walked outside, and then she showed me nothing was there.
Oh, wow.
About 2 days later, she told me that when I went to kindergarten, I'm pretty sure I was in kindergarten at this point. She was in the kitchen drinking a cup of coffee, and we had this rocking chair that he'd sit in every time we came over, and she had it in the kitchen, and it just started rocking by itself.
Oh, wow, he was coming to visit her.
And she sat there and drank her coffee calmly while.
See, I think those kind of ghost stories are comforting, because they let us know that even though people die, they're not really gone forever. They're just somewhere else.
I believe that 4.5-foot figure was a demon that possessed my grandpa to commit suicide.
Oh, wow.
Because, I mean, it was right after I saw that he committed suicide.
Oh, wow. That's terrifying.
Did he leave a
There's-
letter?
No.
He
told my mom the night before, though. He told her.
Jakey, honey, come on. Come on.
Started talking about what would you do if I wasn't here anymore.
A tea of fire.
She just shook her head because he was drunk.
Come on.
And she was like, Dad, I don't want to talk about this. And he was like, he got mad and he goes, well, maybe one day I won't be here. Maybe one day soon. And my mom just left because she got mad and took me with her. And my little sister. And next day, he was dead.
Sad.
That is sad.
No.
What about you? Have you ever seen a ghost? Have you ever experienced something supernatural? No?
I have. Well, like, did I ever tell you what happened out here with me and Dalton? Like, you came out, like, you yelled out the window or something, and I just quit screaming. Because we're sitting out in the pool, and it's nothing really related to ghosts, but we're sitting out in the pool, and we see, like, we thought it was, like, an awesome-looking shooting star. It came down from about right over here, little, like, stuff trailing off. It was green, though, so we thought it was odd, and it stopped, like, right about mid-sky, right about right there, and it just, like, went out, and I was like, oh man, I thought that would have gone farther, and it lit back up, and it just disappeared.
Oh, dude, seriously?
Well, do you remember that story I told you about? Me and Dad seen one. We seen a UFO for real, because I was on my way to school in the morning. He was dropping me off at, well, we can't say her name, so I'm just gonna say
So-and-so's house.
Dropping me off at so-and-so's house, and I looked up in the sky, and you could see it perfectly. Like, it wasn't far away. It was round. It had red and blue lights on it. It was spinning, and I made him stop the car and look at it, and he was like, what is that? What is that? And I was like, you know what that is? He's like, no, it's not. I was like, dude, that is a UFO, Dad.
Your dad. He wouldn't believe in ghosts and aliens unless they came up and punched him in the face.
He still thinks it was a lie.
He would still try to find some rational explanation
I do
for it.
want to find Slender Man, dude. Beat him up, dude.
Okay, now listen, you kids have been telling me this Slender Man thing. You've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. So somebody, for the people on the blog, somebody needs to tell the Slender Man story.
Okay.
All right,
I
here.
don't know it.
Here. Back in the 1600s, there was
I think it was
a woodsman from Germany, and he was a very angry, abusive type person. But there's been I don't know if it's actually him or not. Skeptics don't believe it, but a man, the children. There's pictures on the internet if you want to look them up of a man, a very tall figure, about 9 to 10 foot tall.
What?
Yes.
Yep, with about 10, the real ones, it'll show about 10 to like 12 arms coming off of him. Real long, skinny, almost tentacle-like arms coming out. And kids that have been taken in pictures with him in it, many of them have come up disappearing very soon afterwards. No trace of kidnapping, no reason of disappearance, like disappear in their own house. And there's a lot of people I've showed don't believe it's real.
Is he supposed to be visible to the naked eye, or is it just something that shows up in
no,
the
it's
picture?
naked to
He
the
has
eye.
no face at all.
No
It's
face.
just like white. He's a tall figure in black suit with like tie and like undershirt.
And the adults that see him
Or like they get so
nauseated, they get sick, real bad sick, they go delusional.
yeah,
And like if you see it like out of the corner of your eye, he'll be like right up in your face as soon as you turn
Or
around.
if you see him like face to face, and you turn around.
And where did you guys pick up on this story?
YouTube.
I picked up on it from my art teacher. She showed my class something about it, and then I researched it, and I've been trying to find him because iron and salt does not mix with spirits very well.
Okay, Dean Winchester.
I've got another story that happened to me in Mountain View, actually. When I was living in Mountain View,
You have to talk louder, hon.
When I was living in Mountain View, I was about, I was in 4th grade, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 5th. So like beginning of 5th or 4th, beginning of 4th grade, and well, we were living in this 2-story house, okay, and well, we were living in this 2-story house, and first sighting I saw there, I saw when I was walking down these like rock steps. They're not brick, but they're rock, just with concrete.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this man behind this shed that was right behind my house, like, and I was trying to walk across this bridge that went over this pond that was dried up, and when I got to the bottom step, I saw something in the corner of my eye, so I looked over and I saw a man looking at me, again, another person peeking at me, like around the corner. I saw him, he was wearing overalls, and he was wearing like a flannel shirt, and he had short hair, and he was kind of chunky, and he had a mustache, and then I ran up and told my mom, and she was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah," and she told me that she had seen the exact same person, and so we ended up locking our doors and stuff at night because we didn't believe it was a ghost or anything, because 2 of us saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my friends stayed the night.
Whoa,
And,
whoa, hon.
I went to sleep.
Get that coal off the deck, babe.
I went to sleep, and he said when he woke me up in the middle of the night, he said there was a man that was standing at the end of my bed looking down at me and him while he was still awake. Like, he said it walked through the hallway and sat there at the end of my bed just looking down at us. And it was the same man that I just described. He described him to a T, exactly what I saw.
Now, was this the same house that the other paranormal activity took place in?
The house that the other paranormal activity took place in was in Michigan. And
This is a mountain view. This is in Arkansas.
See,
Yeah.
I believe that sometimes it's not that as much that houses are haunted as it is some people are just born sensitive to that, and when spirits figure out that you notice them, they flock to you because they're used to being not noticed, you know, they're used to being ignored. I mean, there's no scientific proof of that, but there's no scientific proof of lots of stuff that has to do with that.